a life defined by service and a true American hero. Our guest, born in Havana, Cuba, came in as a child refugee, going on to graduate from the U.S. Naval Academy and served 22 years in uniform, rising to the rank of commander. He was also the featured speaker for the arena stage for Military Appreciation Day.
Thank you, Secretary, for being here on this special evening, Military Appreciation Night at the arena stage. I want to start by asking you what your early life was like.
Oh, please call me Carlos, and thank you so much for inviting me here to this extraordinary program that has now touched the lives of so many across the country, so many veterans and so many families, so thank you. So I was born in Havana, Cuba, in 1961, and I came to the United States in October of 1962, along with my mother, my father, my grandmother, and even our dog Blackie. And so we immigrated to Hell's Kitchen in New York on 42nd Street, just a block away from the Hudson River. And we lived in a tenement building there. Both my parents worked 2 jobs. Living there just a block away from the Hudson River, it's kind of a tacky joke, but I used to say that we were so poor that the only thing that my parents could afford to do was walk me up and down the Hudson River. And I think that somehow inspired me at a very early age with all things the water and with all things boats. And that's part of the inspiration for joining the Navy later on in life. And wanted to be an engineer. That's what inspired me basically to apply to the United States Naval Academy in order to be an engineer and also serve my country at the same time.
And can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the Navy and what you did?
Going into the Navy was just an eye-opening experience for me, and to be able to go to Annapolis as a young child from Cuba and experience what becoming an officer was all about at the United States Naval Academy, experiencing what working with enlisted service members, men and women, was like, was just amazing and eye-opening to me. And of course, 4 years later, I graduated as an electrical engineer from Annapolis, and then began basically a 22-year active duty career that took me all across the world and gave me experiences that I just never would have imagined had I not gone into the United States Navy. And that's one of the things that I tell so many young generations of Americans, poor and otherwise, that whether you serve a year in the military or you serve 5 years or you serve 20 years in the military, in so many ways it changes who you are. It makes you a stronger person, a more resilient person, and it really does give you an appreciation for the world and for other people. And so I feel very, very blessed to have been able to serve a total of 26 years in the United States Navy.
And how did your service prepare you to become the secretary?
I retired from naval service, active duty naval service, in 2004. And then, along with my wife Betty, who we've been married now for 42 years, was by my side the entire time, both in naval service and starting the company as well. We had 4 boys. She raised those children. We moved 17 times in 23 years in naval service. So it was nice to settle down a little bit as we went into the private sector. But we started a company, SBG Technology Solutions. We eventually grew that company to about 200 people. It was an engineering and health IT company. And in those 17 years of private sector experiencing, running a small business was really, really important, because I think it gave me also some of the private sector skills that I needed to become Secretary of the Navy as well too. So after retiring from the Navy, I became active in politics in Virginia and decided to support President Biden in his campaign to become President of the United States. As a result of those efforts, I was invited to join the administration. I told him that the one job that I really was interested in was Secretary of the Navy, and that's the one that I would like to be considered for. And luckily, I was chosen for the job by the President, and then continued to serve those next 3.5 years. And it's those experiences, the operational experience that I had over 26 years in the Navy, and the private sector experience that I had over 17 years in the private sector, that truly helped me to be what I consider a working Secretary of the Navy, working on behalf of the American people, working in service to the young Marines and young sailors and the civilians in the department that I also served. Nearly 1 million people, $263 billion budget. It was an enormous responsibility, and I'm thankful to the American people for having been offered that opportunity to serve them.
We all understand how important it is for us to have some leisure time, and tying into these programs like what the Arena Stage is offering now. Why is these kinds of programming important to you about supporting programs like this?
Absolutely, Monica. It's a great point, and you raised several good points there. First and foremost, it's the responsibility of every leader, including the Secretary of the Navy, to first and foremost look after our sailors and Marines in uniform, and to look out after their families as well too. And I'm very proud that I just recently joined the board of Blue Star Families, for example, an organization that specifically looks after the welfare of military families all across the country.
All right, here we go. First up, 2 tickets to any show in the Omni Theater Center's 2020.
Programs like this here at the Arena Stage that they've been running since 2015, just this military service dinner that honors military families, is really, really important because it contributes, as you suggested, to the overall balance in life, the work-life balance that one has to achieve, right? And military families are constantly under a lot of stress. So for them to be able to get out on a night like tonight and enjoy a dinner and a show and be told how important they are to our military readiness, to our country, is really, really special.
Each year we have almost 200 veterans, military service members, active duty military service members and their families come to the theater and join us for a meal, an inspiring conversation with a high-ranking military official, and we give away raffle tickets to other local theater companies because we believe that theater helps you understand yourself in the world. We raffle away tickets and opportunities for other small businesses, and of course an incredible evening of theater. And this year we are so honored to have Secretary of the Navy, Carlos del Toro, as our speaker. And our guests will have the opportunity to see the world premiere musical adaptation of the beloved novel A Wrinkle in Time.
I'm very thankful to the board of directors of the Arena Stage, and to Catherine, the chair, as well too, for all that they do on behalf of our military families.
So as a military brat, it's great to see so many families of veterans here in a way that they can interact with the currently serving community.
Just to have all these veterans together to do something that will keep their spirits up and keep them lifted.
I brought some friends over and we decided to share our experience as military service members.
I have had experiences in my life that I never would have been able to have had I not served in the United States Navy for as long as I did. And again, I highly encourage all young Americans, women and men, to consider a career in the United States Navy, or even consider serving for 1, 2, or 3 years in the service, because it really will give you those skills that will stay with you and propel you throughout life in the military and also life in the private sector as well too, when one either transitions or retires from military service.